Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a little bit since we've done any red car talk, but we are back. Ready to make some changes. But first, I just want to talk about a little bit of what I learned in the racing season of 2021 with my second drag car build ever, which is this one. First one was Scott's car, the black one, and this was my second one. So as far as what I think the year went, I think it went really well for being first time out. I made the decision to buy a car, I want to say January, but then never followed through until March. So finally, end of March, scored this car as a roller and got to work. So I would say in the course of putting it all together in 3 months, I'm very happy with our performance. I cannot complain at all. The car went pretty fast. We're not super geniuses out here. Don't have years and years of experience doing all this stuff, so you can't complain with going as fast as we did. And I'm stoked for next year. I tell you what, now that we got a little knowledge under our belt and some test passes on this thing, I think it's got a lot more left in it, and I'm really excited to find out. But things that I didn't like that I did, first off, whenever you're putting a motor together, always verify your ignition timing. That was the dumbest thing in the whole world that I did not do, and I cannot believe that I didn't do it. I don't know. It just never even crossed my mind until I was wondering why the heck the car was so slow. Second thing, I ran those fittings that we were talking about last week. Those two fittings that 90'd right off of here, that went into actually these ports here. You don't need to run a tight 90 like that. That's stupid. I think it cuts off water flow so much. I'm not sure how much of a difference this thing's gonna make, but regardless, I think that's dumb. It was a waste of time. Should have never done it. Should have just cried once and spent the money, but I didn't. Other things that I learned a lot about chassis work and just how to set up suspension. The way I did it and the way I went about it was, if you're setting up a radial tire car, I just went for max travel. So I set the car up with the upper bar all the way down as far as it could go, because that's your basically how much travel, because once that bar turns parallel, it's never going to travel any higher. That's about, max travel for your geometry and for how hard you're going to push down on the ground. So to take a car that wasn't working, that is what I did. Tipped the bar straight down and went from there. It makes a little bit of a wheelie machine, but you can always dial back on that stuff, move weight, work on the tune-up, traction control, which I do not run, but tons of stuff you can do from that. So now, this year going forward, I do not want to do so many wheelies, so I think I'm going to pull a little bit of travel out of it, because it just straight up doesn't need to do that. I don't want to take so much out that it doesn't hook anymore, because I like how I can pretty much run the same tune-up on damn near any surface and it'll always hook up. That's very convenient. But other than that, I'm just going to aim that bar up just slightly higher and let her rip. And hopefully it does just like it was last year, only no wheelies. Other things that I learned was you cannot run your transmission temp sensor off of your charge pressure, because it doesn't really do anything, at least on this car. That number seems to always stay within 90 to 115. So I'm actually gonna add a legitimate pressure temperature sensor to the pan so you can get actual pan temp. And then another thing which really assists you in converter specking and diagnosing issues is a line pressure sensor. So I'm gonna add a transmission line pressure sensor to this thing as well. It's really easy. It's right off of the little cover right up on the opposite side of the shift linkage, so might as well do that as well. If you're gonna run Flowtech headers, I highly recommend not using these things. These clamps suck. Cut them off and put your own ones on, whether you just buy some Amazon stainless ones or whatever. Those things are garbage. The clamps are just terrible, and the bolts, they just are known to either A, break, or B, bend. So always something to consider if you're gonna run Flowtech headers. Those are garbage. So far, I'm really happy with the fuel pump I put in this car, the Airmotive 10.0. It seems to work pretty good. It's quiet when it's on street mode. I can't complain. It's delivered me every bit of fuel that I've ever wanted with it. So hopefully that thing keeps up strong, going good. And I like the way the fuel system was done on this car. I got the regulator right here, mounted a little bracket that I made. I mean, it's super simple, super clean, keeps everything kind of tucked. All the wires are tucked, you can't really see too much nonsense, which is one of my favorite things in the whole world. Another thing, if you're building your own turbo kit, I think you should run clamps like this on everywhere. I got some regular boot styles down here. It's kind of hard to see, but they're okay. As long as you get ones that got super long legs, so you got a good amount of pipe engagement in your clamp or in your rubber boot, and then clamps, and then put a little roll on them so they got something to clamp onto. That's the only way that I would do that. And then the radiator setup. I like the rear mount, and I hope it was that fitting that was causing me all the problems, but if not, I don't know if it's the way to go. But I'm gonna try it again. I'm tipping it at more of an angle, so I'll kind of show you how that is once I get it all hung up there and ready to go. I just did some welding on it and got it ready to go. So I'm gonna aim it at a little bit more of an angle. Hopefully it catches a little bit more air from under the car. I mean, it worked. If it wasn't 90 degrees, it did okay. But when it was 90 degrees, it just got hot. When you start going 45, 50 miles an hour, it just warmed up really quick. So hopefully with a little down, and then I'm gonna finish the trunk floor, which my trunk floor and the whole trunk situation is not my favorite thing in the entire world by any means. I did a lot of modifying kind of to make it work so I could get up and running. So I plan on ditching the intercooler maybe next year. So I'll run it this year with the intercooler, and then I'm gonna dump that, and I'm going to do the old injector and the charge pipe style. So I'll probably run 2 injectors, one here, and then have a little tank made up here to run methanol into there. So it's just gonna make everything so much simple. I don't like having all that stuff in the back. I don't like dragging ice around with me. I don't like, if you run out of ice and you still got racing left, it's just not my favorite thing in the world. So no intercooler for me, hopefully in a couple years. And once I do that, I'm gonna cut the whole trunk out and totally redo it all with nice bars, nice floor, really make it fancy. Billet pass-throughs, all the stuff that everybody likes to see on a race car. So, but for now, we're just gonna temporarily seal it all up and make it work good. So that's the plan for now. And then one other thing I would say to anyone else doing any of this, don't put your breathers on the back of the valve covers if they're not baffled. These ones are not baffled, so they typically catch a little bit of oil going through them, because when you launch the car, everything pushes back to the back of the valve cover, and then there's nothing covering up that fitting. It makes it very easy for them to fill up with straight up oil. So that bothers me quite a bit, but there's not really much I can do about it. And those China valve covers is pot metal basically, so it welds just horrible. When I welded them brackets on, it sucked, took forever. It's not fun. I'm not a pro, so maybe some of you out there can do it better than me, but I struggled with it, so I'm probably not gonna attempt it. Other than that, I'm pretty happy with it. Changes coming, like I said, the 417 manifold, plus I'm also gonna run my coolant pressure sensor up there since it does not work very good in the back of the head. And that's about it. If you guys are looking for some good plug wires, I really like these Magnacores. They fit extremely tight on everything. They look good, they're clean. Yeah, I'm very happy with them. They're a little spendy, but once you make an order and you get your custom set, you always have the part number for them. So you can just go right ahead, call them up, hey, I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or whatever your number is, and they'll get you hooked up with it. So that's definitely a huge plus of how that stuff works. Other than that, I think that's about it for things that I learned. Learned a lot just about general tuning. Go over your tune quite a bit. Look at your logs quite a bit. You'll never know what you can learn from just looking at all that stuff. I made tons of runs where I had timing retards on and all that stuff. That's just stupid. You just gotta look in there and make sure you don't got anything enabled. And other than that, I think that's about it. I mean, I had a great year with the car. It was a lot of fun. It worked really well, and I'm excited to do some more with it and hopefully do some more street driving with it. Just absolutely stoked. We have like I think it's 75 days until I got to be in Florida for registration. So that is coming up ultra quick. And I am so pumped for it. But now we got to get this thing ready to go. We've got a little bit of work left to do, get some brake lights going, get a horn in it, and then put this radiator back up in and do the trunk floor. So here's my weld on that. As I talked about in that other video, the video you'll see in a little bit, what I was gonna all do with it, I got all that done. Gonna bend that baby up and slap it back up in there, and hopefully it fits just as good as it did before with a little bit more angle, and then shroud it all in so the air is forced in there. That's about it. Well, I'm gonna get to work and I'll show you what I get done. So here we are back in my house, and we're gonna get this radiator all ready to lower it, tip it at more of an angle in the red car. So I just took it off, gonna clean it all up because it's just a filthy piece. You know, when they sit in the back like that, all the rubber hits them and everything. Gonna do a little screwdriver action to all the fins and make sure they're all open so they can breathe good. And gonna weld some new brackets on this thing, clean it all up, hopefully bring it back today. Oh, we're back at Dylan's shop, and I got the radiator all fixed up, ready to go. Got my bracket on there. I just gotta bend it up and drill the hole through it once I know exactly how it's gonna sit. And then I just gotta add the other bracket to the other side, so that should be pretty easy. So I kind of test fit everything, and it seems like it's gonna fit okay. I couldn't use my new bracket. It was all kind of kicked off at an odd angle, so whatever, just cut that off. But got the radiator so it sits about an inch lower, so that should, I hope, help with some air. And then I got all the measurements I need to make the trunk floor. And hopefully it all fits good. I mean, I did the best I could. I actually cut out a little practice temple just using my, I have that little nibbler thing that I showed in one of the previous videos, and it fits well, but it doesn't quite cut the way that I would like it to, so. Not gonna use that one. I'm going to shear one off at work and then use a nice little cutoff wheel so I can make the edges perfect. And plus, that one helped me anyway because I put it in there and kind of test fit it, and measurements I had were good, but not quite as tight of a fit as I want. So I'm gonna cut one up at work and then bring her over here, and hopefully she fits good. But other than that, that's a nice little red car update, and that's all I got for you on this one. Still looks good. Also ordered parts, getting ready to do the brake lights on this. I'm not exactly sure how it's gonna work because the pin isn't the same as like they are in a factory Mustang, so I'll have to figure that out, but at least I know what I need, and I'm gonna order it up and need some brake lights in this guy. That's about it, guys, though. Comment, like, subscribe, tell me what you think. Give me some ideas of what else I can do to this thing to get ready for Sick Week. Thanks for watching, fellas.